Alright, this is my 2004 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road 4x4. It has a rear locking differential, and I'm going to go over all the extra features that it has. Starting up at the front, we have a Raptor-like grille. It says Toyota in a dark gray. Behind it has black. Around that, it has white rather than chrome. Below the front bumper is whited out with the black notched out to kind of give it that modern look while still retaining the factory appearance. We also have a bug/wind deflector up here for the hood. Keeps the hood paint in nice condition. We have smoked out these side plastics here. Does not affect the light. The light comes through here on the side. This is the cab light. Cab marker lights, not the turn signals. Turn signals are down here. Yes, they are the turn signals. This truck does not have fog lights. As we move our way around, we have the wind/rain guards by Wade on all four doors, and those allow you to have the windows cracked, and if you leave them open overnight or you're driving with it while it's raining or it's windy, it just keeps the weather outside and you can still have a little air coming in. Alright, so we make our way around the back. We have a backflip tonneau cover. This is a great tonneau cover because it folds up and then will actually fold up against the cab, which I'll show you in a minute. So I have the 2016 17 Plus Tacoma TRD off-road rims to give it a newer look. Alright, up front I have the Toy Tech Boss lift. It's a 3-inch lift and it's an adjustable, so you can do 0 to 3. There's special tools that I have that you can adjust these very easily to set the preload. I have the Total Chaos upper control arm with the Uniball joint, which works a lot better for articulation. And this just corrects the steering and keeps everything straight in alignment and gives you a little more clearance on either side of the tire, being that it's a tube design. So you have more clearance here for your tire. Okay. Additionally, I've installed the front diff drop. Just 2 of those little spacers right there to keep these CV axles not too severe. Bringing it around the back, we have the Toy Tech 0 to 2-inch plus rear lift shackles. So you have 3 different settings here. This would be no lift, this would be around 1 inch plus, and this would be around 2 inches plus. So I've got that installed. We have Ride Right airbags here. The Boss matching rear shocks. And these cradles. So these airbag cradles allow the suspension to articulate fully. The airbag would remain with the upper part of the frame and the cradle would remain on the lower half. So that in an extreme situation where your tire would be dropping down, you would not tear the airbag. Okay? So matted with those airbags, you drop the tailgate. Now here, looking at the Tanya cover again, you've got these cables. I've added little red tabs so you can see them and grab them better. So you just pull down on either side, you have tabs. You only need to pull one of them. It flips up. Right here, I have just a standard air pump. It's wired in to the auxiliary. Sorry, my little pooch over here has just tied herself up horribly. Come here, get over here. Oh my God. Sorry, 1 minute. You just get yourself into a big knot, won't you? All right, run free for a minute. All right, sorry about that. So, you can either connect a standard bike pump to this Schrader valve, and this is what leads to the airbags. So, I also have another location down here. If you'd like, you can move it down here very easily. And I like it up here because now what I've added is this quick, you can easily just plug this in, and then when the ignition is on, you can turn this on. So let me just do that real quick. So you can easily adjust the height. It's at very low pressure right now, but you wait for a minute or two and it'll pump it up right to where you need it to be. You can also use a compressor or any other bike pump, so it's versatile. And you can move that Schrader valve into a different location, or you can get the onboard unit to control the air from the cab. Moving on, with this back flip cover, there's no lock on it itself. It sits in these tracks, and since this tailgate does not come fact with tailgate lock of any sort, I added the pop and lock electric locking system. So, for instance, everything's closed up. I can either lock it from here. Well, the key's in the ignition. So I can lock it from here. Now everything's locked, including the tailgate. I can unlock it from there, or I can use the key fob. One click unlocks the front door, a second click unlocks the rest of the doors, including the tailgate. If I only open the tailgate, after about 30 seconds or more, the rest of the doors will lock as a safety feature. So if you unlock your door but you never end up going to open it, the doors will lock. But if you open any of the doors before the 30 seconds, you will not have that problem. So continuing on with the Tanya cover, it flips up once, twice. In this second location, you can use these straps to secure it here if you didn't need to use the whole truck bed. Or you can flip it up once more to give you maximum access to your truck bed. And then you have two little arms that secure like this to hold it up against the front of the cab. You also have little pads that protect it from hitting. So you have pretty ample storage up in here. I got a bunch of shit in here because this is my daily driver. Just some bike ramp, cooler, a couple bags, backpacks. So this makes the truck very versatile. It pretty much turns your truck bed into a trunk while still being able to use it as a truck. And I can still fit a dirt bike in the back with this on here without having to remove it. If you ever did want to remove it, it's a pretty simple thing to remove. It's just two big wing nuts. All right. Moving, I will pop the hood real quick so we can check out the interior. Under the hood, excuse me. A little tricky with one hand. All right. So the engine bay and the engine are pretty clean. It's been a little dusty and windy out with all the fires, but nonetheless, she's pretty clean, and I always change the oil about 5,000 miles. So we are always with a nice golden honey color oil. And I always use fully synthetic Mobil 1. Also, we have a Canaan Air Filter that I clean and recharge frequently with the Canaan recharge kit. As you can see, kept it clean, and what I like is it's really super easy to change and remove. You just pull it up, has its little cage and an easy access location. All right. So while we're still on the outside, I'll just turn on those little LED amber lights so you can see what those look like. Being that it's the daytime, you can't quite see it. This is good, but you got the 3 LEDs here, and then you got the 2 cab lights when you turn it to the first setting, which would be in the evening, or just kind of let people see you. And then if you go ahead and flipped it one more up, you would get the driving lights. So this truck does not have day running lights, which I prefer because there's certain situations where I don't want my lights on. So then I have the Husky floor liners, rubber diamond print. We have the Cover King seat covers with the custom TRD logo stitched in. We have a nice leather wrapped steering wheel here. And we have mounted some seat heaters, custom seat heaters with 5 different settings. Just the 2 front seats. And it is the lower butt portion and the lower back. So if the lights are on, again, it's in the day, there's a little blue light that lights up just to kind of, at night, you can see where to reach down to if you want to turn them on. And it says left and right, and then as soon as you roll it up, it will illuminate in red to indicate that it's on. And then you can see there's 5 settings, but there's actually a half setting, so you can actually get 10 different settings on either side. And these work great when it's cold. It's, in my opinion, a must-have. All right. Looking up here, I've installed these custom sunglass holders, and they're on there. I made it so they're removable though, so they really, there's just a little arm, and I did have to cut a little tiny slit in the roof with my utility blade like that, and I just slid the little hook in. It's meant to be hooked over these, but I wanted a more custom look here. So I'm sure anybody could appreciate these, and even if you did want to remove them, I don't think it would be very visible. Just, it's not in the way when you're sitting here looking out through the mirror or anything, and it's just a convenient location for your sunglasses. So we have a Jvc Head Unit here. Pretty standard, but it has Bluetooth and an auxiliary or a USB port to connect your iPod or iPhone. If you did not want to connect through the Bluetooth or via Bluetooth, you can just connect directly, and it would just sync right to your phone. So you can make phone calls. I have a mic up here, so when you're driving, your phone rings, it'll display the name and number here. You just push this button and it will answer the call, and you can go ahead and talk to whoever you want to talk to. It makes it really simple and easy to be a hands-free driver and more safe. So as you can see down here, I have this red cable. This is for Android, but if you just pull it out right here, you can easily access a little cord with a USB end, so you can plug in whatever cable you'd like. And I did that so it would have more of a factory look, because I don't like those inverters that you have to plug in here and they just look bulky. I originally had a black one and it was a little more stealth looking, and you could also move that around if you wanted it to be in another location. You could hide this cable and just tuck it up in here, run it back into here into your box, and it just makes it more convenient. And then there's an additional one hidden up here that's hanging, and it actually fell behind. I have to pull this out and fish it out. But that allows you to have an additional person use something to charge. So what I like also about this truck versus the newer models is it just feels more user engaging when you're using the four-wheel drive. So this is just an on-the-fly. You push the button here to get into 4 high. And if you wanted to get into 4 low, you would have to stop. I don't think you have to, but you could put it in neutral. And then you press down on this, and it will, and then you slide it forward and then forward again, and it goes into 4 low. And oh my god, this truck works great off-road. There's a couple situations in the snow. With these tires, you don't even have to have chains or anything. So right here, you got the rear locking diff, which should only be used in an extreme situation where you're trying to get unstuck. You should never use this when you're on the pavement or pretty much any other reason. Here's your, this is like a power mode. When you engage it, it will shift later in the RPM. So if you're hauling or you're going up a hill and you want it to shift a little later in the RPM, it's kind of more of a racy mode. All right. So I've got this little, it's just a little cover that sits on here, and I like it because it holds my little pillow. It can be kind of annoying, but it gives you some extra pockets. And I like to keep a pad of paper right here with a pen. Additionally, you have storage. I've got a bunch of crap in here. All right. Moving to the back, I have a custom diamond print rubber flooring. It's not a mat, it's actually custom in the floor. And it just works great. If you spill anything, you got mud, easy to clean. So I've got these black seat covers back here to match the front. And what I love about the install is I've retained the factory, the pulleys to drop these seats. And another thing that I like about this Tacoma versus the newer Tacomas is the simplicity and the design of this rear seat. If I want to run these down, I drop it, and it's like a little shelf here. I can drop both of them, and I got a little shelf, little extra piece of rubber right there. And I still have all this room down here behind my back seats, so I don't feel cramped. In some of the newer Tacomas, you actually have to, this front seat flips forward down into this area here, and then this seat, you'd actually have to take these off, and then it drops down. It does end up becoming a little lower, and you have some nice storage behind here, but I prefer this method. You could also take these seat headrests off if you wanted to just have a more straight down access to your behind the seat directly. And back here you have pretty good storage too. I've got 2 umbrellas, an extra electric pump, rubbing alcohol for emergency type of thing, jumper cables, and some paper towels and whatnot. So the interior is really clean. I've also replaced the overhead light and the 2 front lights with LED lights, and these work way better than the stock ones. I'm telling you, way better. So that's another feature to consider my truck has. Also up here I've mounted, this is my Garmin Navigation, and I've also just ran the wire behind the dash here so that I don't have to have a plug-in, and it just looks more factory. And this is Velcroed on here. And I removed this left vent cover, and I've actually just got it taped to the back of the dash. And it's super easy to put back to standard if you don't want it. I have some kind of aluminum foil tape here just to block the passage, and it just routes it right around here. It's a very straightforward and simple thing and can be easily removed, and this little vent thing can be popped back in. The reason why I did it is because I didn't want hot air blowing on the back side of my Navigation, and then I got another additional little like shelf here just for extra things. If you don't like that, I can put it back for you, no problem. 100%, nothing is broken at all. So that's my truck. It runs great. I'm trying to think of the other features that I have on it and put into it, but this is just a solid truck. Super, super solid. I would trust driving this thing from west to east coast, no problem. It has a full-size spare wheel, just a steel hub, but it is a BF Goodrich rugged terrain, but it's full-sized. And we got a towing hitch here, and it has a very nice access to your different pins selections here. And with these airbags, it allows me to not have such a firm ride in the rear. So I can let the air out, and it would be just like factory ride. If I want it to be a little firmer, put a little more air in. If I'm have a bike in the back, it might need an extra 5 pounds. I usually run it around 10 or 15 pounds. It can go from 5 to 100 pounds on the PSI. So if you were towing something and you had a load in your truck, it would just hold it level, so you don't have a big sag in the back, and then that affects your handling and just the whole ability of the truck. This makes it way better, and I highly recommend them. So if you have any other questions, let me know. Another thing I just noticed is, yes, I blacked out all of the badges. All of the badges are blacked out around the vehicle. I've also slightly smoked, just gave these a light smoked haze to them, just to kind of give it that darker, a little more aggressive stance during the day. It just hides it a little bit, but it's still 100% functional. And that's what was the idea with this truck, to keep it factory look like a TRD Pro. You know, like a kind of like a TRD Pro, you know, a little bit more off-road orientated, but still very factory. It doesn't have beefy bumpers or anything like that, and very easy to work on still. Additionally, this truck will come with, if you'd like, I can include, I have a floor, the side steps, full length side steps. They're factory and they're just lightweight, and they work really well if you like a little extra step to get in the truck. Maybe you want to clean up above on the roof. It's just a little easier for any of your passengers. So those will be included if you like them. Additionally, this truck has a black camper shell that it comes with. It's a locking camper shell with the side windows, and it's in great shape. You could remove the tonneau cover, throw that in the back, put the camper shell on the truck, and carry it home. Additionally, this truck has a lumber rack. It is a racket lumber rack, and it is the contractor's one, which pretty much just means that you could have a forklift come up and drop your wood right onto the side of your lumber rack, because it has the notched out, it's notched out like that, so the forklift can drop it and still remove its little legs, arms. So you'd have to come back for that, or if you bring another truck, any other way you could think of how to get it home for yourself. But those things will be included with the truck for the right buyer. I don't want to extend this movie too much, but I keep thinking of things. It also has a 30% tint up front that matches the rear. It is not very dark from the inside of the cab. You can still see very well, but it just helps with the glare from the sun. My eyes are really sensitive to the sun, and I like that little bit extra blacked out look. This truck has been a great truck, and to be honest, I don't really want to sell it. And if I have to, I will just keep it, and I love it. Keep driving it. So again, sorry for making this video so long, but if you have any more questions, let me know, and I will get back to you. Thank you so much. And this is my 2004 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road 4x4. Thanks. Have a good day.